Why are you staying in traditional Judaism? Get out. Don't you see? They don't want you. And I kept on saying, it can't be that they don't want me. I don't think we live in a world in which we have all the answers. I don't think God revealed them all to us. I mean, I believe there was revelation, but it was quite minimal. That is why I continue to stay with this question, what would God want of me today?
In trouble at the beginning. It was impossible.
How can I live my life feeling that there is religious integrity?
To see is, can we do it a little differently?
I don't always succeed, and I'm just also a regular person. To you, maybe I'm a nice person. To other people, I've ruined the Jewish tradition. When I was 3 years old, my family moved to Montreal from New York, and my father became a rabbi in a synagogue there. From the age of 9 till the age of 12, I led services for all the children in the synagogue every week. And then when I was about to come to 12 years old, my father said that she has to stop because she's going to become a woman. She has to now come to the synagogue upstairs and sit behind the curtain. And that was it. I remember feeling that wound, and then I remembered feeling like I was being sent to exile in some way. I had a very rich inner religious life, and I loved prayer. Prayer was part of it. And joyful prayer was part of it. It was a place where I actually felt whole. And as I got older and, reached 12 years old, I was basically told it's not. You can observe other people being joyful. You can observe men being joyful. And if that's not satisfying to you, what's wrong with you? A few years later, we came to Israel. I studied at first political science and then philosophy, and I finished my first MA in Jewish philosophy and became a teacher in a religious girls' high school. But what I was teaching them was how they are secondary citizens, how they're not really equal. And so I left teaching, and I started asking myself, what could be the next step for me? At this time exactly, after I'd studied for about 10 years Jewish studies, I asked my father to give me rabbinic ordination. My brother, a year younger than me, also was studying texts, and my father gave him rabbinic ordination, but he never gave me. He said, I can't. You're a woman, and I can't give it to you. It didn't make sense for people why I didn't leave. Like my sisters, who said, why are you staying in traditional Judaism? Get out. Don't you see? They don't want you. And I kept on saying, it can't be that they don't want me. There's this great movie called He's Just Not That Into You.
She's probably meeting her soulmate as we speak.
This one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, no.
How do you know?
The guy working the whole Tom Cruise thing, she's interested, he's clearly not.
I saw it again and again, crying my eyes out all the time, just in that notion, Tova, maybe God is not that into you. The rabbis are certainly not into you. And your father isn't, or your mother, into what you are trying to do, but you're trying to live the way you're trying to live.
Does anybody want coffee? Girls, you don't want any coffee?
Being a mother gave me another voice that, okay, I'm a mommy now, and nobody here is going to tell me how I'm going to bring my girls up. And then when my daughter started growing up, I said I refuse to bring her up and the other two girls to bring them up in a way that will be reminiscent of anything that happened to me in that place. And I just really wanted them to know that in the face of adversity, their mother tried. And so I went to sit with rabbis and I tried to show them that it is possible to give women a voice in synagogue life, in ritual, and this will not mean you have to break with tradition. There are places, there are precedents. Let me show you. I know about these things. But they were really just not interested. So I just called students of mine. I called even past students that I taught in high school. I just called people I knew, anybody I met in the neighborhood. I'd say, you know what? I want to start thinking about what does it mean to create a religious feminist shul. And that's really how it was. We met 2 times in my house, figured some things out, and I said, we're going to figure it out as we are in motion. We cannot figure everything out. We can't have a blueprint because nothing has been written in this.
Oh, she's okay.
Until we had started the shul, mostly women prayed in private in their house, or they might come to synagogue but would not be able to fully sing or lead any parts of prayer. Somehow, I had a feeling, again, that I wasn't the only one who wanted and needed a deep prayer experience that was based not only on passive listening. My father was against me starting the shul, but then he came once or twice, and then he was transformed, and he became my biggest supporter. And so when I asked him what transformed him, he says that there was beautiful prayer. But there was something inside me, like a little bit bubbling. Okay, now what are we going to do now to change society? And that was the idea of starting a school of education whose main goal is creating higher education that would be accessible to communities that didn't feel like that they had a place. And so we started 10 years ago, and with no students. And then now we have 7,000 students, both in Jerusalem, here in Kiryat Ono, and in the Haifa campus.
Yalla nichnasim.
We wanted to be a home for all the different segments of Israeli society, which would mean that from Bedouin from the south, up to Bedouin from the north, to Druze people, to religious Muslims from the center of Israel, for secular Jews, ultra-Orthodox Jews, that we wanted to think about how do we create an educational environment that knows about differences, that thinks how do we teach differently to different communities. I would say a third, at least, are Arab students. And 30% of the faculty are Arabs. It was very important for me to find and hire Arab faculty. And so when I teach a group of Arab kids, I can't just go in, teach them, be a really cool teacher or whatever, and then leave. I really need to know, do they have grants to get them by? Who's failing? Who needs more work? Who needs more help? And I say, not one of my students is going to leave because they couldn't afford to pay tuition. So would that be a religious thing? For me, it really is. It's what God tells me that I need to do. The religious question is how can I bring in more? How do I make you feel comfortable?
Shabbat. Okay. Bye. Come take kachot. Bye. Take.
I try to live in a way where I feel like there's religious integrity. And I don't ask someone else to give me the, oh yes, you're kosher. That's right, there is religious integrity, or there isn't. Orthodoxy is a term that I think has also done more harm than good to the Jewish people. Some of these terms, they haven't created a lot of love in people's hearts. I don't think God is in those definitions, who's in and who's out. I think that religion cannot be, and a God religion cannot be a place that there's a zero-sum game. People, do they really think God's so little? Do they really think it's that he can love or she can love just a few people? So I'm sort of afraid to say, oh, God revealed himself to me. There's a term that I use that I came up with, and it's called devoted resistance. So I don't see myself as the prophet who sits wherever on whatever fence and just espousing certain values.
Even though you are all from different sectors in Ono College, put on your sector hat and say, Tova, I think you missed something here.
It's a very deep way I live. And so I do believe that every person is created in the image of God, which basically means for me that there's room for everybody in this world. That's what it means.
Okay, bye.
I wish God talked to me. I don't know if God talks to me. I pray that I could be able to pray that he should talk to me. So I don't know what it means for God that he revealed himself or herself to me. Do I feel claimed by religious things? Yes, very much. And I know that not everybody is claimed by those things. Do I feel that we can be claimed differently? Different people will be claimed differently? Yes, I'm sure of that. But I really do believe that there's room for us to come to God, to pray for God, to try to live a life that is meaningful.
Oh, here's mine? Okay. Here, do you want one?
No.
You want another one like that? What?
I have one like that.
Okay.